Good riddance.
Okay then. That happened. We had like a complete internet outage here for a couple minutes. Well, I'm glad it kind of happened this early into the stream, not like before we actually start, the session. Because then I can just upload the video starting from this point. But yeah, welcome back. Sorry about that short interruption here. Welcome back, Mr. Goody. So you're up to chapter 5. Misty Cloudy Miss Boss. Sounds stylish. It's the Silent Hill 2 boss, isn't it? The fog. It was a perfect timing to get a drink. Absolutely, Schiller. Couldn't have picked a better one. Welcome back as well to you. Also, did you see the Dortmund game yesterday? Or at least highlights? I watched like the last half an hour or so. And that goal by St. Pauli was insane. Proper like drop kick. I guess is what you'd call it. Had to get first again. Classic. When you saw the results, I gotcha, yeah. Yeah, Girassi definitely carried the game there at the end. But yeah, great header for the win. Yeah, I don't blame you for feeling that way, Schiller. Definitely seems like we have to get a bit more consistency there into the Bundesliga games.
Fuck does Kuno care?
Let's discuss the body again.
The fuck about it?
Where's the rest of the armor?
Kuno doesn't give a shit about the armor.
How come?
Kuno's fuck gimp's got one big thing wrong with him. He's a fucking mutant.
A mutant?
Look at him. Fucking growth hormone shit. He's a giant. The armor's too big for any man. Kuno doesn't give a shit about that freak armor. Kuno threw that shit away.
Oh, come on. He's just pretending that he doesn't care because he's too small for the armor.
Knock, knock.
Knock, knock. Hey, Varod, welcome back. And how's it going, Stanley? Hope you're having a nice evening so far. Hope the rest of the quarry went well. With Captain Piss Off. At least that's what the kind of like eye patch look reminded me of. Kuno's Kuno, you don't give a shit about the armor. Kuno's a fucking mutant. Kuno doesn't give a shit to anyone. Kuno is a piece of shit. Exactly. That doesn't sound contradicting in any shape or form. Kuno is also liking to address Kuno in third person. What do you mean you threw it away?
Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big.
He performs a kickoff on the imaginary helmet. Be careful with that. Otherwise you're gonna end up like Aragorn in Lord of the Rings. In the second movie, I think it was when he kicked the helmet of one of the Urukai And when the actual actor like broke one of his toes, I think. As a result.
Kuno kicked that shit in the sea, rugby style. That shit means nothing to Kuno.
He threw it into the sea?
Yeah, that shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno doesn't give a shit about material shit. Kuno's a fucking monk.
A monk? Oh, you certainly look like a monk I haven't seen before.
You wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustache union fuck. The jolly troubadour shit at the gate.
Now I embalm you with death. That's one of the new insults from Bike.
Now I embalm you with death.
The heck? Sure, it's just like a 1% chance to trigger again. It was so good it had to be played twice. Doing good, how are you? Oh yes, Laura's eye patch phase. Stream went well, you up to chapter 8, so 3 left to do. You almost messed up something you needed to do for that. Thankfully, there were 2 QuickTime events involved. And failing the first is fine, but you also failed the second. It would have ruined your day.
Go! Get to the chopper!
Get to the chopper indeed. Yeah, I don't blame you. That would have definitely sucked if, the second one also failed. Especially, getting closer to the end of the game there. But that's great. I'm glad it went well and that you got up to, where you wanted to be with the outcomes. But you also didn't have anyone die yet that you had to, use the rewind for. But yeah, I'm doing well, thank you for asking. Been out a bit longer again with the doggo. And yeah, I took care of a couple chores around the flat and stuff. And yeah, I figured why not, continue with Disco Elysium a bit more. Finally starting on the second day. So yeah, that's I guess what I would call progress. Imagine it takes me the same amount of time for the other days of the game. Like 7 streams per day. Gonna end up with like a 70 stream playthrough. Seems legit. But yeah, welcome back, Dr. Darling. Yeah, that's definitely fair, Rod, that you want to make sure to be like in perfect condition to kind of like carry on and really have like the full focus and energy that's sometimes needed to nail those QuickTime events. That's awesome, definitely progress. Now there's just 5 more days left. I wasn't too sure. I've seen that there's a potential up to 10 days you can spend in this game. But apparently, I guess, depending how things go for you, could also be shorter. I guess there's many ways the game can go. I didn't really look into like any of the outcomes or anything. I just want to have like a bit of an idea, how long I can expect the playthrough to like be, roughly. And yeah, apparently you can spend like 10 days or something, or like a maximum of 10 days to get to one of the endings, I guess. But yeah, as far as I also understand, the time doesn't always flow entirely linear. Sometimes you also have to like wait, or you have like phases where nothing is happening much. And you have to like forward time until, the next major event triggers. So I reckon that might change, how long certain days might become. And I guess it makes sense for the first day to be a bit longer, given like there's lots of introduction and like, stuff to take care of. Now we definitely on a second day have a bit more of a plan, like who to talk to for certain information and what to do. What do you mean, troubadour?
Yeah, cocking boot. You know that jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about cows or some shit? Came around pretending like he cares about cows? So yeah, he's the one you want to talk to. He's fucking crazy about that armor shit. Coming here pretending like he likes cows. Trying to catch a peep at Kuro's armor. Go to the gate. Ask him yourself.
Yes, this troubadour has it. You can feel it.
There are contusions all over his body. Did you do that?
Fuck are you talking about? What is this contusion shit?
He grabs his head like it's suddenly hurting.
He says you're stupid, Kuno. They want to make you stupid again.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Rod, it's great feeling getting to that point of the game. It really starts to open up a lot. I would imagine so, yeah. I'm looking forward to kind of like continue the investigation. We also finally had the stomach to investigate the body. Because previously when I tried, I always threw up, pretty much. So it's good to actually start, you know, the investigation like officially. Here, Kuno, I will show Kuno what a contusion is. Right. I think this is best shown in practice. Contusion is a bruise. I'm talking about the marks the stones left on the corpse.
Oh, did Kuno make your shit sniffing harder? Obstruction of shit sniffing? This is Kuno's kingdom. Kuno fucking rules here.
You hear the lieutenant hum. He's thinking the kid has amassed quite the vocabulary of law enforcement terms, but he's not going to stick his nose into this.
Me and my partner are wondering, where did you pick up so many police terms?
Me and my partner are wondering, do you guys puff Peter?
Kuno erupts into laughter, pointing his finger at you, then Kim, then back at you. An unfortunate choice of words, the lieutenant from Precinct 57 thinks. He looks at the harbor walls looming overhead. He could use a cigarette right about now.
Puco Cop? Maybe that's a new, like, thought we can master. In the thought cabinet. Did I learn much about the body? I wouldn't say too much yet. I mean, we know that the armor that he's wearing was quite valuable, apparently. And you got stripped of all of it except for the boots. It's a bit questionable how they actually hanged him, because they couldn't actually climb the tree. So it's likely they had to like lasso the belt or something. Also very likely that he didn't die here but got hanged there after already having been killed. Or, you know, just dying. And apparently he felt pleasure in the moment that he died. So what exactly happened there, we don't know, but it's at least like a few things to work with.
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost,
I have more questions about the crime scene.
Yeah? The kingdom of Kuno? The fuck do you want with it?
Did you ever climb the ladder?
Look at that fucking shit! You're trying to get Kuno killed!
So you would say that the ladder is unclimbable?
Fuck does Kuno know? Kuno's not a fucking acrobat.
The lieutenant takes a quick note in his notebook.
It's a trap, Kuno! Don't climb it, Kuno!
Yeah, I mean, it's not too bad, you know, for like only investigating the body here. It's definitely quite a bit of info to work with. A letter? For me? Yes, Jacob, for you. A letter, and if you climb it, you can find a letter.
A letter? For me?
How do you know, Kuno, until you try? Exactly. Maybe you're like a master acrobat? Kuno, there's a stack of Eternites back there. Point to the shack.
That's just some shit roofing gimps left behind. Lazy dinks.
There it is. That strange feeling again. As if there was more than meets the eye about that pile of roofing material.
Well, we can opt into life in an empire, use our imagination, and say we can see with our inner eye.
Inner eye? Fuck are you talking about? Ask me a normal question, pig.
Yeah, I had a feeling he might not take too kindly to that. Hey there, Ave, welcome in. And happy weekend to you. Hope you're having a nice day so far. And I'm doing well, thank you for asking. Yeah, having a nice one so far, playing a bit more Disco Elysium. Finally starting on the second day of the investigation. Currently just interrogating some kids. Bed and us on every turn. You know, the usual. In Revo Show.
They're trying to make you feel stupid, Kuno.
Getting insulted by kids, you know. Nothing better I would like to do on a Saturday.
You glance again at the roofing material in front of the shack. Yes, you should go back there.
Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Okay, well, let's have another look here.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite.
Okay, so whenever we have like dice rolls, I'm gonna make this, you know, viewer choices. So we don't actually have a higher chance to do this, but it's at least slightly in our favor. It's actually pretty easy to do. I just have a very low motoric skill, which means my perception is exceptionally bad. But yeah, we could try this. So for those who don't know how the voting works, basically if you're on desktop and you have a stream on, you know, like a bigger screen size, and there's gonna be like a kind of like dialogue choice popping up in the middle bottom of the screen. And you can just click on whatever choice you would like me to choose. If you're on mobile, then it's a bit more complicated. You gotta head over to a symbol on the top right of the chat. And if you click on there, you can see my journal and my current task and stuff. And whenever a vote is happening, then you can head over to the third category. And yeah, it's gonna open up the vote window. And then you have 15 seconds to leave a vote if you like. And yeah, now it's whether between vote 2 and 3. So either leaving, or we can try to use perception here to try to look behind the roofing material. I'm gonna start the vote now. Right, 100% for perception. Let's go ahead and test our luck.
Because there's a secret door hidden behind the panels of Eternite. That's why they're too orderly.
Pull the panels aside.
There it is. You see a shabby little door.
Nice.
What is this then? A tool shed? Let's investigate.
Only noticed the head. There it is. Looking like a true hipster. But yeah, we have the orange bum head. An orange beanie with a couple of big ass holes on the side. It looks like it might have been used as a mask during an armed robbery. Perfect for us, isn't it? Ah, yeah, I can still deck with this photo actually. With the tattoos, I just can't lose it. Nice hat. Yeah, if Ronnie ever decides to play Disco Elysium, this is the hat he has to use. A hat that has been previously used in an armed robbery. A silver plate with traces of bone yellow powder.
Be still, my beating heart. It's amphetamine. Sweet amphetamine. The lieutenant isn't studying the powder in the mirror. He's studying you.
I've heard amphetamine makes you a really good detective. Are you a really good detective? Yeah, no, I decided to, you know, try to get my shit together, try to solve the investigation if I can. Try to stay away from, like, any of the hard stuff. So, I'm gonna try to actively investigate the drug ring instead of, like, participating in it, I guess. Does he have to do the armed robbery first before wearing it while playing the game? That's the thing, isn't it? As long as it's like water pistols, I guess yes. Maybe filled with chili sauce. That's like the furthest I would go. Someone is taking the narcotics here. Perhaps the police should interfere?
Perhaps not. This is below our pay grade, detective. However,
He points to the letter in the corner. A letter?
see that ladder there? It's probably another way into the industrial harbor, no? A secret path the local kids use.
Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Back on zero. Also, have Absolution, welcome in. They did a great job casting him. I really like his voice actor, I have to say. I think he's perfectly fitting for how he's written. The poster says, get out of the way or get fucked up. It's actually a found slogan from an aggressive youth-oriented campaign. An empty tube of magnesium supplement. A cute pig's head, it looks mummified. Ah, very cool. We can finally have a look up here. This doorway is going to collapse soon. Restoration pillars keep the ruins together. postcard. This postcard depicts an ill-advised residential area overlooking the Jamrock Quarter. 13-story buildings line the hillside like sarcophagi, an ominous fog already rising from behind. These are the last boom years. In 39, the project failed catastrophically, leaving behind an opiate and hepatitis B infested slum. Hey Lucinda, welcome in. Good morning. And how's it going? I hope you're having a nice weekend so far. And yeah, it's going pretty good. We have now started officially on the second day. Only took me like 7 streams to get to through the first one. But yeah, it's going pretty good. Definitely still enjoying it greatly. I think the writing and the way the narrative is done is really unique, and I really like it. As for the viewer influence, we definitely tuned it down a little bit from the start of the playthrough. Initially, I had actually every choice, kind of like chosen by the viewers. But I tuned it down quite heavily to only like really impactful choices. Given that there's like many that are just about like questioning, like asking different questions or just talking about different topics, rather than having much of an influence. So we're now doing the viewer choices more for really impactful choices. Seven streams per one in-game day run. That's it pretty much. But yeah, I'm confident we're gonna get through the rest of the days faster than we did for the first one. This game makes it clear when a choice makes an impact and when it's just information gathering. Definitely a little bit, yeah. There's kind of like dice rolls pretty much, like similar to a tabletop game, where you have like one choice that's locked behind a certain chance of succeeding. And those choices usually have the biggest impacts, because they're directly tied to kind of like your stats and to what you have focused on. But there's certainly choices that more seem like they might have an impact as to where the conversation is going forward. But yeah, that's more like going by feeling. I didn't decide to like have a guide on or anything, because I didn't want to have like any potential spoilers about outcomes. But yeah, so whenever I feel like, it's a choice that I want to have like viewer influence on, I do it. You going alright? Had a busy week at work, so much so that you dreamed about it last night. Eating now, gearing up for another long day of Silent Hill 2 remake. That sounds very nice. Definitely hope you enjoy the food, and also your time with Silent Hill later. But yeah, that's fair, like, if your mind is constantly occupied with like one specific topic, it would also follow you into your subconscious a little bit. But I hope, that this weekend you can rewire your brain a bit. So you dream maybe about Silent Hill instead of work. Then you might have to ask yourself, do I really want to dream about Silent Hill though? Sounds like a nightmare fuel. Potentially. So much money. I'm rich. I have $5. Healing item. So much money. I'm truly rich. Oh fuck.
I need money.
I accidentally smoked a cigarette.
I'm hungry.
It's fine. It's funny though how smoking a cigarette actually raises your intellect. But mostly because the character thinks, you know, he's much more, you know, having like a higher intellect because of it. Hey there, Gorky. Welcome in. Sand Hill is such a great place to vacation. It's a lovely resort town. It's kind of like Bright Falls, isn't it? Funny enough, you never dream about games. That's fair. I can't say the same. I definitely had plenty of dreams about games. Especially when, you know, I've been like playing a game like, you know, maybe not like all day, but for like really intense times. But usually I don't really remember many of my dreams. If I do, then it's usually because something happens that's kind of like severe, which would usually be like, you know, more like a negative thing happening in like a dream. Like, I don't know, someone dying or something like that. But yeah, those things are of course a bit more difficult not to remember. Love this music, Rod. It is pretty cool. It's like a very kind of like dark vibe. It's kind of like the protest music in a way, isn't it? It's usually music that plays once you get closer to the strike. Hate it when you accidentally smoke a cigarette. I know, right? It's like, god damn it. How did this land in my mouth? Fired up and smoked. I had like no choice in the matter. Bright Falls is another lovely place to visit too. It would have taken your breath away. Surely it would. So can I get there?
Looks like someone left his tarpaulin cloak hanging on the railing here. Man down, a trooper has been left behind the enemy lines. You could swear it's more of an instinct than an actual sight, but you know there's the RCM signature rectangle on the cloak. It's a cop's cloak.
A cop's cloak? It's a cop's cloak? Super intense.
Yes, it's probably yours. It
I was about to
bears
say.
the RCM insignia, and you have a habit of being careless with your equipment.
He judges the drop. I was about to say, surely this is, you know, our cloak here. That we just left hanging there. A wizard did it. A very evil wizard that wants to, you know, make everyone smoke tobacco. He's probably like a lobbyist for the tobacco industry or something. Gets paid handsomely.
You could probably make the jump. You look like you've done some track and field in your day.
Interesting. So because I have like really bad motoric skills, I have a 8% chance of actually jumping over here and getting to it. So we could fail spectacularly. But yeah, first let's have a look around. Maybe there's something that will increase our chance of succeeding. Should we choose it?
The wind is aggressive up here. The lieutenant looks at the enormous crane towering in the distance over the container yard. The look in his eyes is a mix of the engineer-like interest and the wonder of a 6-year-old seeing a horse for the first time.
Motherfucker. Now that's a huge crane.
Yes, that's one way of putting it. It's certainly an impressive achievement of engineering.
Leap of faith. In our case, would be more of a leap of faith. Yeah, we definitely don't have any parkour skills, it seems. But hey, I have lots of muscles and I'm a psycho. So those are definitely some, good qualities to have.
But I digress. We were focusing on your cloak here.
It looks like a sad piece of fabric flapping in the wind. Do you really think this cloak is mine? Should I go for it? Jump?
The cloak? I do think it's yours, yes. As to whether you should go for it?
He looks over the ledge at the cold pavement below.
Well, it doesn't seem too dangerous. 2 meter stops. Whenever you're ready to do it, I'll be right behind you.
Dude, you could just literally hang from there and drop. If he like fully stretches out, it's like maybe a 30 centimeter drop. If he's like going from a hanging position, it's like, come on, dude. You really can't do this. Is he Canadian or French? That's the question, isn't it? Maybe he's French-Canadian.
The cloak looks like a bag of goodies floating in the wind. Who knows what its pockets may hide?
Okay, so nothing has increased our chance yet to do this. Let's ask about what we're doing up here, even though it's a bit of a redundant question.
I was under the assumption we could ask the leader of this union to help us get this body down. This is why we're here, right?
He doesn't wait for you to answer.
Or it could be that we are just exploring.
He looks around, wind rustling his hair. Hey there, dubious Wookie. Welcome in. They needed me on the writing team. Maybe you have to have logic at a high level to see the hanging from a ledge like a normal person option. It would make sense, yeah. To be able to think like a, normal person. In that regard. But yeah, who knows? My logic skill definitely isn't the highest. As you can see, intellect and motorics are only at level 2. Or we're more focused on physique and psyche. Funny way to increase the chance that doesn't involve spoilers, just FYI. Yeah, so we just actually smoked a cigarette by accident, which apparently raised our intellect. So that's at least one way to do it. Yeah, that is on the right, saying we smoked Astra. I reckon there might be other ways as well to raise those kind of like stats.
He's thinking you've forgotten where you are again.
But yeah, so I will make this a viewer choice, whether or not we will do the jump here. We have an 8% chance, it's a white check, so we can retry this at any point if you want to, but we might have to wait a bit longer. So yeah, we can now vote between choice 4 and 5, so whether we would do this or not. Remember, we can always try to come back later when we have a better chance of succeeding. What I could do though, before we do this, I can actually start a vote first for character attributes. Essentially, it allows viewers to vote on what character stats might be increased or decreased. So you could try to, for example, boost my motoric skills for the next choice. Or you could also, remove other attributes of myself and try to sabotage me further. That's, up to the viewers. I'm gonna start a vote now for it, and feel free to kind of like increase one or decrease one of my character attributes. Okay, I don't think anything changed. That's fair enough.
A tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught on the railing.
What's this game about? It's basically like a CRPG, I guess. Very narratively focused. It's actually based on a book series, I believe. And the game itself definitely plays into that as well. It's more like reading a book that's like unfolding in front of you, where you have like some sort of influence on where the story is headed. But yeah, very much dialogue and narratively focused. And you play as a cop that wakes up one morning, is completely destroyed with a hangover, doesn't remember anything pretty much, and now has to get his bearings and solve a murder case pretty much. Sabotaging with streamer, you could never do it. Never. Ever. But yeah, it's definitely also about substance abuse. Because it seems like one of the reasons that put Harry, the protagonist, into this situation. But yeah, so we're gonna do the viewer choice now, whether to try the jump or not. Again, with 8% chance of success here. And please only vote for 4 or 5, since you already have triggered the first 3. Alright, we will try. 8% chance. We did it? No way.
As you leap in the air, a chilly breeze engulfs you, sharpening your senses.
Gotta be kidding me. 8% chance and I did it. I didn't expect that. Imagine having like a 92% chance of success and you fail. Like that's the equivalent here. Well, not like, 100%, but feeling wise, Yeah, I was thinking about the same thing, Absolution, there's like a chance that we had like some sort of role we played in the whole situation. But yeah, we're about to uncover that. Can't have a detective in a video game that doesn't have a drinking problem. Yeah, it definitely goes hand in hand, doesn't it? Gotta deal with the stuff you're seeing on an everyday basis somehow. Or not, I guess. Gennady and Ezio. Yeah, the game was knowing that I've played so much Assassin's Creed. I just had to have that parkour skill. Surely absolution. That's it. Flying via better than Michael Jordan. Maybe we should try a basketball career after we have solved this murder case. I can see it. Hey there, Farapo. Welcome in. It has the same probability. I wasn't too sure actually. It's been like quite a while since I had any like serious math. But thanks for clearing that up. And yeah, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a nice weekend so far. Now with the passes, you feel it's like not a spoiler to mention that you could have taken off your pants to increase your chance, right? Yes, it depends, you know, if there's like another jump in the future that I have to make, where that might play into it, then I didn't, you know, find it out naturally by trying it, but by someone in chat mentioning it. I guess if another situation like this arises, I would say it probably is a spoiler. But yeah, in general, I try to like solve everything myself if I can. And if I'm looking for advice or, you know, tips, then I will explicitly mention it in, yeah, in the stream. But, you know, no worries about it whatsoever. Just like wanna put it out there for like future. Yeah, no, you good absolution. Just meant having success and 8% success rate has the same probability as failing with a 92% success rate. Yeah, I did catch that, Farapo. Exactly, Wookie. Yeah. Usually I would try to like work out everything naturally. Or not, I guess. Like sometimes I don't mind not knowing something specific. Because who knows when in the future, you know, it might play a role in like another context. Continue the voyage through the salty air.
As the concrete floor welcomes you, you realize it's been a while since you felt so alive, alert, capable. Must be the adrenaline.
I knew you could do it. My climbing down might not have been as disco as your jump, but at least we can explore the harbor now.
He's quite excited about us actually succeeding here. Makes me wonder what he would have said if I failed this jump. He said the thing. He said disco. Okay, I think now we can call it a playthrough.
With your feet firmly planted on the concrete, the noise of the harbor rushes back in.
Oh yeah. Got a nice looking cloak there. Don't mind if I do. Giving us Esprit de Corps +1 and +1 shivers. Taking back the streets and Novi neighborhood. Oh yeah, I like the look of this one. If I didn't have this ugly mug of a head though, I would almost look good. Almost. Time for you to get your day started soon. Hope you have a great rest of the stream. Thank you so much, Lucinda. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great start to Silent Hill 2 Remake. I hope you enjoy it. I mean, you have much fun with it. And let me also give you a shout out here for those of you that haven't checked out Lucinda. Never mind. Thank you, Rod. You are faster there. So yeah, for anyone that hasn't checked out Lucinda Shiny yet, there's a link in chat. She's currently playing through Silent Hill 2 Remake for the first time ever. Also a big fan of Resident Evil games, first-person games like Bioshock, Dishonored, Dying Light, and many, many more. So yeah, if you want to check that out, definitely do so. Collecting rainwater. These 3 packs worth of cigarette butts. Numerous empty bottles of Commodore Red and potent Pilsner.
Numerous empty wine bottles glisten in the rain. Someone partied really, really hard here.
That's no worries, Lucinda. More than happy to give you a shout out. And yeah, I'll probably catch you later for a bit of Silent Hill 2. Did I do this?
Well, yes, I think we can say with relative confidence that it was you.
That's really sad. I must have been miserable.
Yes, this scene isn't exactly ripping with joy. Let's just move on.
He turns to leave.
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, René Arnaud.
So this is where René works. I'm gonna look around.
If you must. But please hurry. We are pretty easy to spot up here.
Nothing incriminating catches your eye. The cabinets are clean and their sparse contents meticulously organized. There's a framed photograph on the table.
Take the picture.
It's a black and white photo of a young couple out in a street fair. The man, René, is dressed in a Royal Carabinier uniform. The girl is young and very pretty. She is smiling playfully at the camera. René looks like he's about to smile. This photo must be tied to some good memories.
Why did you take that picture of René?
The lieutenant asked, glancing at the photo. What couldn't have been him, surely? Like it wasn't him that did anything to that bird statue? Nah, never. Not like we're investigating our own kinda like scenes of crime, pretty much. I would never party at night and leave like a trail of destruction. I'm gonna ask him about it.
You're really interested in that old soldier. Not sure I understand your fascination, but sure, as long as it doesn't take up a whole lot of time.
This is the night.
Okay, can't go further here. Go down there maybe, can I? No. All around you, great machines in quiescence. White pine trees are printed onto the screen covering. Looks like a forest under snow.
A rusting control panel with several knobs. 2 buttons marked Marche and Arrête are faded with use. It seems to control the large crane above. A container is attached to its hook block.
It's one of the things you love about that game. there's like a main crime and a subcrime, like a main plot and a subplot. That's true. It definitely helps give like multiple layers as well to what's happening. Not just only focusing on like, you know, the main kind of like investigation. In fact, I'd probably spend more time not doing anything that had to do with the investigation, really. And more with me, like, personally.
Marsh. On. Arrête. Off.
Okay. Not sure if I should press anything here just yet. I'm gonna leave this for now. And have a look around first. You see faded industrial lettering on the platform. 1000. The shipyard ahead is oddly quiet. The great machines are sleeping. The pair of cargo boats used for heavy lifting. One says Vermilion. The speaker tower is silent. There's no work to organize in the yard below. Okay, we're going quite far away from the switch here. Vaso means Whale Fjord in Arden. I'm gonna make this a viewer choice whether or not we trigger the button.
Control back. Marsh. On. Arrête. Off.
So you can basically choose whether or not we will, you know, put the machine on, put it off, or just leave and do nothing. And the vote starts now.
With a loud grind, the crane shifts overhead, moving a massive metal container through the air. And, with a surprisingly quiet thunk, the crane places the container down. This crane was built with a purpose, which has now been fulfilled. To move this container.
What's inside the container?
Who can say? All you know is, it's special.
I can't see how that was worth the ruckus, except for seeing the crane in action, which I admit was satisfying.
Okay, let's make another viewer choice here. To put it off, put it on again, and see what happens. Or just leave. Okay, we're gonna go and leave.
Before you stands a cargo container, just one of many in the yard.
Lieutenant, I think there's something special about this container.
Is this like your thing with that wall again?
Maybe? I can't tell. I think we should investigate further.
You do? Because I don't.
Why not?
There are a million containers here. Why are you fixating on this one?
I don't know, Kim, it just feels special.
It's a cargo container, detective, just like all the others.
Doesn't even look at it.
We're not here to interact with containers. We are here to get the body down from the tree.
Okay, let's make a viewer choice here again. To open the door or to leave it, you know, here.
attempt to turn the handle, to no avail. The doors seem to be mechanically locked. To your left, the lieutenant considers your actions with some puzzlement.
Let's knock on the door.
No reply.
Persuade the door to open? Wait, what? You have a chance to persuade the door to open? Whoa, this is a dice chance. So I'm gonna make this a viewer choice. Whether or not we try this 3% chance of opening. I doubt that we're gonna get as lucky as we did with a jump again. And there was an 8% chance. So, yeah. Let's do a viewer choice. That's one way to open a door, I guess. I know, right? If we fail this, then Kim is gonna look at us like, what are you doing? I think he's truly lost his mind now.
Why are you even trying to open a door with rhetoric?
Yeah, why am I?
Why are you what?
Anything at all.
Now is not the time to get philosophical, detective. You can do that after hours.
Fair enough. Alright, let's carry on here. Industrial-sized thermos. Smells like burnt coffee. I think Alan Wake has been here. The mask of woe and rust comes from the chasm in front of you. It smells like blood. The coffee in the giant thermoses is still lukewarm. The stair made of pellets leading up. Taxidermy fish that tells time. Ellen's watching. Is it Ellen or is it Mr. Scratch? Also, hey there, Zomb, welcome in. How's it going?
Before you is a walrus of a man seated behind a large desk. He looks up from his work, not the least bit surprised to see you. With great effort, he straightens himself up in his chair, yet says nothing. He simply stares at you. A typical power play. Wait for him to speak first. Show him you've got a backbone.
Say nothing. Look him dead in the eye and wait.
The one good eye of this man fills you up without even flickering. The other, his lazy eye, is constantly moving like a goldfish in a tank.
Also, give me 1 sec. Alright, I'm back. It could be Mr. Redacted, yes, indeed. I do like that sound effect they're using for addressing Mr. Scratch. Say nothing, eh? And yeah, it's going good, Zom, thank you for asking. Having a nice weekend so far over here. Hi back, I'm Zomb. Yeah, hope you're doing well.
Grotesquely magnified by his +6 glasses. For a moment, you don't know where to look. It is unbearably humid in the trailer. Beads of sweat slide down the man's forehead.
I'm gonna keep staring, I'm not gonna give up.
At first, nothing happens. His face wears a wide and self-satisfied smile. Every now and then, he smacks his big lips.
We can do this all day. I have time.
Like a general over his maps, he plots his moves. Judging by the way he's licking his chops, it's going to be a good one.
So...
He begins to speak, albeit very slowly, purposefully leaving a pause after his opener.
Mr. Dubois, Mr. Kitsuragi, how nice that you found a moment to pay a visit to the Debardairs Union. I'm Everard Clare, head of this little operation here.
But same here, at times when you mention his name on stream, you do the same kind of sound for his name instead. That's nice. Certainly fitting. I didn't expect this voice for a man of his stature, to be honest. His voice actor is in Darksiders. Oh really? I haven't played those games yet.
Please, have a seat.
He gestures to a tiny folding chair opposite to his giant desk.
The folding chair looks like a torture device. Extremely uncomfortable.
You go ahead, detective.
The lieutenant nods at you, then the chair.
Whatever he has in store for you, it can't be good, he thinks. I'll do my best. Forget about that. What's with this Dubois stuff? You're getting some seriously bad vibes from that name.
Why are you calling me Mr. Dubois?
Please, Mr. Dubois, let us converse in a civilized manner, as equals. Take a seat. I insist.
Has a nasal sound to his voice. That's true. It's like he's holding his nose together while doing the voice acting.
It's nothing. Yes, that's probably right. It's nothing. Forget about it. Filter it out. He's trying to throw you off your game with this Dubois nonsense. Don't give him the pleasure.
I don't sit. It's kind of my thing.
Very well, Mr. Dubois. I respect a man with strong convictions.
As he nods, his multiple chins move like ocean waves. What a picture.
I, too, have convictions. One of which is that I will not engage with any man who won't face me at eye level.
Well, then stand up, bitch.
Should you find yourself more amenable in the future, I'd gladly resume our conversation. But until then, I'm afraid I must ask you to leave.
He turns back to his typewriter.
Don't give up, but don't leave either. You're going to have this conversation on your terms. You just need to remain headstrong.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be really stubborn about this now.
Hey, boyo, back to your master!
Try what he says to us here, telling us to leave. That's a good point, Zomb. Yeah, I can definitely tell that this guy gives off, you know, truly vibes of an organizing mind. But here, on the other hand, you know, not so much. Ben Hornigold, the trader who sold Kenway up the river. Yeah. Looking forward to, you know, end that guy's days again once I get to Black Flag. But it's still gonna be a while until we get to the early 18th century. But yeah, we're gonna be stubborn here. We're gonna remain standing and we don't go anywhere.
Everard starts whistling a little worker song. He really is trying to ignore you, or will you out of existence.
Stand strong.
The lieutenant stands right next to you, not showing any signs of impatience or boredom.
I see you are an extremely stubborn man, Mr. Dubois. That ain't necessarily a bad thing.
Finally, the big man looks at you in the eye and speaks. There we go. Just gotta be stubborn enough.
You did it. This might help against whatever comes next.
So tell me, how can the head of the Debarders Union help a representative of the Revachol Citizens Militia today? Oh, by the way, I heard you got a rather rude reception from a certain Lawrence Gart. Some people have no manners, it pains me to say.
Brought you through in with a very kind we once hated. Yeah. I can truly feel like the feeling of betrayal in Edward's voice when he kind of like, you know, throws it at Ben. You know, it's like one thing leaving behind this like pirate nation and the idea behind it, you know. It's understandable that Ben Hornigood wouldn't like a believer anymore after what he's seen, you know. I think he's definitely not wrong in this assumption to think that they kind of like pissed it away in a way. But, you know, that of course doesn't mean that you have to side with the ones that are trying to punish your former brothers, you know, put them to the sword, pretty much. Hey there, Zerafo, welcome in. Black Flag is always a fun game to revisit. It's your personal favorite AC game made by UB2. So there's also that, also a fun fact, but about you, Black Flag was your first game on the PlayStation 4 as well. That would definitely also be a great experience, you know. Getting like a new console and getting to play an amazing game that you end up loving so much. But yeah, I love Black Flag. I think it's certainly one of the best games by Ubisoft as well. And still to this day, one of the best pirate-themed games ever. Surely. At least in what it's like trying to showcase. What's also interesting, you know, having like an AC game that was a bit more open about the whole like siding with the Assassins, Templars, which was more like almost like a backdrop story in lots of ways. Which of course also got criticism for, but ultimately, you know, I think it got to be more accessible to many people. Also like newcomers to the series. And yeah, it gave like a bit more of a neutral view, I guess, in either organization. But ultimately, I just love how they realize the pirate, you know, fantasy. Having like equal amounts of time spent on like land and naval. Just like sailing about, discovering new places. Zerafa, you have the opinion that if you played Black Flag and played AC2, you played the whole series. None of the other games, in your opinion, has anything good that those two games don't have. That's fair. I mean, yeah, those are usually mentioned as the fan favorites and like the best games in the series. I wouldn't say that I necessarily share that sentiment. You you know, I really, really like the series as a whole. And I love most of the games in the series. But I will also say that AC2 and Black Flag are certainly, you know, among the best in the series. AC2 is also my personal favorite game as well. But yeah, I mean, I also love AC1, you know, the game that started it all. I think it really deserves lots of credits for what it kind of kickstarted. And for its time, I think also a pretty revolutionary game in lots of ways. Especially when it came to the whole like free, you know, parkour approach. Focusing on things like social stealth and the likes. I do also really love games like Origins and Unity for like trying something new and bringing some fresh energy into the series. But yeah, I definitely like many of the games. But there's also games that I definitely don't like nearly as much as I like some of the other ones. But it's often also something that comes with like what studio is developing a game, you know? Because while it might be developed under the Ubisoft like, you know, head, and there's like many studios involved, whoever has like leadership of where the story, the gameplay is headed. It's like, you know, completely different studios, you know? They have a name Ubisoft, but they're completely different people working on it. It's done the same like maybe guiding principle and philosophy, but for me it fundamentally changes, you know, the games. Who's writing it and who are the games behind it, the guys behind it. That's so true. That's one of your favorite quotes of Edwards. Exactly. Yeah. He has some great ones. Always gotta give props to Darby McDevitt, you know. I think he did a great job bringing these characters to life. But also really helped that they had such a great cast of voice actors, you know. Truly legendary cast there. But I also like how Darby always has like a bit of a historical approach to how he's writing, you know. Like the way they kind of like keep themselves, like in the manner of speaking. Also using some of the words. Even like changing the way they're written in the subtitles sometimes. But it's one of the great things about Darby because he does read a lot of the contemporary sources. And really tries to also analyze, you know, talking and how language might have been at that particular point that he's studying. He's done the same, of course, with Valhalla. Though with Valhalla, he was, of course, more in charge of like overseeing the writing rather than writing everything himself, or like primarily. Was a risk to 60% on water. The guy who directed Black Flag and Origins got fired for ethical misconduct. Yeah, I know. Very unfortunate, you know, the whole situation. Because when it came to developing side, you know, we could definitely tell that his games were very successful and well beloved. But yeah, Ashraf Ismail. I was actually super excited when I learned about him being in charge of Valhalla again, because obviously I love Black Flag and Origins. But then learning about, you know, like what he's supposedly done, was certainly the right decision to let go of him. But I still think that it had a negative impact, of course, on the development of Valhalla. Because when he was let go, you know, was basically in the finishing stages of Valhalla, and all of a sudden the game was without its main, you know, game director pretty much. And I could definitely imagine how that turned things not necessarily to the better, you know. Because at that point it becomes even more important that you have like one kind of like time together all the things that might be important to a game, right? I think there's definitely something to be said about how it's handled. Let's compare Black Flag with Valhalla, for instance. Black Flag still incorporates stealth, and while you're playing as a character that mainly isn't part of any creed, he has his own reasons for knowing how to do things other assassins know how to do. And the story's fleshed out quite well. It's ridiculously well. Also, it helps the Constantine, provides the dramatic acting for Kinway too. Yeah, I think there's definitely lots of attributes that Edward has that really make him a very good assassin, you know, at the same time as a very good pirate. Having the Sixth Sense certainly would play into that as well. But I would say that there's also things that support Eivor, you know, being stealthy. There's like small kind of like, yeah, things you can find and uncover that kind of like play into, okay, Eivor has also, you know, kind of like use ways to stay stealthy. Like similar to how you have a memory of a past with Bike and Remo when they're like hunting and they're talking about staying low and like, yes, we are the hidden ones, you know. You have like a story with Eivor, for instance, about his parents and like playing hide and seek. When you go and revisit the old village where Eivor grew up. So that also plays a little bit into like, okay, yeah, you know, since a little kid, you know, they've of course played those kind of games and that's why they might be good at hiding. And Eivor certainly doesn't have to be bad at hiding. But yeah, it makes sense for Eivor, I guess, to be also like a bit more of an upfront type of character. Similar to Connor. I mean, Connor really sucks at stealth for comparison. I would say arguably even more so than Eivor does. And Connor doesn't even care about stealth most of the time. He's always just like charging straight to his target, getting himself like captured on purpose and stuff. I mean, he's using freaking cannons to attack a city to load a target. And getting hit himself in the process. So I think it can definitely be worse in that regard. But yeah, coming back to Edward Wu, I think he's definitely, you know, he did a good job. Kind of like making sure that a lot of the attributes that he has do also really fit well into the, like, assassin qualities. Darby is great at adding new things while making it fit what came before. Yeah, I can really tell that he both has deep respect for the history he's trying to represent, but also for the other games that came before. And it doesn't matter if it's like a Montreal game or a Quebec game. He tries to actively, you know, address things that came before and trying to set up things that might happen in the future. You know, like a prequel and sequel at the same time probably should. I can't remember what its name, but he ended up working somewhere else. I see. I did follow up on Ashraf Ismail like for the next months after he was let go. But I didn't see anything new popping up for him, so I didn't really check since then. On the other hand, Vala essentially makes stealth non-existent. It throws out everything for the sake of being a Viking game. The story is too long and not nearly as engaging. The acting is more bland in comparison, no matter which genre players, which itself lends an air of indecisiveness. Overall, while both Black Flag and Vala want to be an old-time with affection fantasy, one handles it better than the other. It's fair to have that sentiment, for sure. And I can also see the comparison between Black Flag and Valhalla, because there certainly are parallels. But yeah, I still think it's definitely difficult to compare like apples and oranges in a way. They certainly try to do something very different as well, still. And I think Valhalla also definitely succeeded in lots of ways. But yeah, I would definitely agree on the fact that it's just too long, you know. It's too dragged out for sure, and there's too many alliance maps. Yeah, there's too many like story arcs, whereas not all of them have felt really like they were adding something substantial to the overall story, you know. More like just additional stories if one have like more content. But I will say though, I think Valhalla gets too much criticism for its stealth system, to be honest. Like, yes, we can all probably agree that Valhalla has some really wonky stealth mechanics sometimes if things don't go as planned. But I've been actually doing a stealth challenge like a year ago for Valhalla. And I, for instance, had way less detections than for many other of the AC games, including Unity. That's of course like very subjective because it's like, you know, me playing the game. And it wouldn't apply to all the other people maybe playing it. But I really felt like stealth was a very viable option to play for the entire game. Of course, you have to make exceptions for when you have forced combat scenarios, and there would definitely be some. But I was surprised to see how many scenarios you could solve without even going into the area sometimes. But yeah, I think ultimately the stealth is just also more punishing, you know? Like for instance, if you compare the vision cones of like Mirage with Valhalla, they have a much better peripheral vision in Valhalla, you know, like if you're standing to the side of a character, they will start to detect you. But for me, that's realistic, you know, like I can see what's like to the left of me, even if I take longer to realize that there's something moving than if it's standing right in front of me. Whereas, for example, in Mirage, you know, like stealth is much easier and more predictable because they just only see what's directly in front of them. They can't even see what's like above them, you know, pretty much. And they of course do that to basically give the impression that stealth has become better, you know. But ultimately it's more like, okay, yeah, stealth becomes more successful, but at the cost of realism. But yeah, ultimately I think there's just always a balance you have to strike, you know, it's like still a game, it's not like for reality and you can't make it overly punishing, otherwise people won't enjoy your gameplay system. But yeah, having like a good balance of like realism and gameplay fun, I guess is important. And some games definitely are better than others. For instance, Black Flag I think was also much more on the easier side when it came to how stealth worked. Like when you compare, for instance, stealth in Black Flag to AC3. Even though it's based entirely on the same like engine and core gameplay mechanics, stealth is infinitely more easier in Black Flag than in AC3. It's even simple things like an enemy starts to detect you and in Black Flag you're just running away into the grass and hide there. Whereas in AC3 you can't actually hide back into the grass unless you lose full contact of sight with an enemy. You know, things like that can make like such a huge difference on whether you're getting detected or not. Connor's more of a hunter than a lover. Surely, yeah. It's very much a hunter. Would have been cool if you could hunt another hunter, which is Shay, Patrick Cormack, as Connor. Because Shay also speaks of himself as a hunter. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's with you know, that you might even not know if enemies will be finished off. Valhalla, I mean, gives you the option to either have guaranteed assassination or have advanced assassination, right? Which means it doesn't matter what level the enemies are, you still always have a chance to assassinate them. For me, that was stealth-wise, assassination-wise, a much-needed improvement over Origins and Odyssey, you know? Or being even like 5 levels below your target can mean not being able to assassinate your target. So that was for me an essential improvement in Valhalla when it came to stealth and how the Hidden Blade functioned, essentially. Opening it up way more. And I feel like if you can't headshot enemies in Valhalla, it's mostly a matter of you haven't upgraded your bow far enough, or you have the game running on like really high difficulty settings that raise the level and health bar artificially. But let's assume we're playing on normal difficulty Valhalla. You're like doing only the main story. And you have your bow like decently leveled up for your level, then you're gonna be able to one-shot most people with a headshot. Except if it's just like, you know, big, strong guys. But even then, you have like skills where you can like have 2 hunter arrows with 1 and then still be able to do a headshot. And as I said, you know, I've done a stealth challenge, played the entire game like that, and I can 100% confirm that stealth is very much a viable option in Valhalla. And you're definitely not forced to do combat at every point. That's true, Rod. You know, like I feel the whole story about Achilles' family really came way too short in Rogue. I really only use it as like a narrative tool, you know. But I think it was definitely a mistake not to showcase, you know, Connor, like Achilles' son, and his wife. But yeah, ultimately they didn't want you to feel as a player too much resentment, I guess, with Shay's choice. And empathy with Achilles, you're really like supposed to like question Achilles, you know. But yeah, always hate when Shay makes a comment about, you know, that he doesn't care that his family is dead or something, you know. Basically being like, I don't care if his family is dead, he can't act like this. But given how much of an impact the loss of his family had on Achilles, you know, would have been good to explore it further, I think. Oh yeah, Absolution? Yeah, I can imagine. The PlayStation 4 fans can get really loud. I remember when I played Miles Morales, the Spider-Man game on the PlayStation 4. Like, it was running like a jet engine pretty much. Yeah, that's definitely fair, Rod. You know, there's like a thin line between like frustration and immersion. In a way, you know. And yeah, there's games that handle it really well. You know, like for instance, like I think Red Dead 2 has a really good balance between like creating immersion and realism and combining with gameplay. Of course, sometimes it might be too slow, you know, like with the pacing to some people, but I think it doesn't get to a point where it's like actively hindering, you know, gameplay fun, at least to me. I think it works really well in a good balance together. But it's annoying when you have like situations where it seems like almost physically impossible, you know, to do something according to how the game wants you to do it. Because it's just standing in the way, essentially. Yeah, there's just so many ways I could have handled the whole like Shay, or maybe not even Shay story, you know, just the Achilles Haven story. I think they didn't even need to create a new character with Shay, you know. Given how important Shay is to the overall storyline because of Rogue, it just makes also zero sense that he's never being mentioned, you know, in like AC3 or Unity. But that's just another issue, you know, that Unity and AC3 have been essentially written before Rogue. And then Rogue is supposed to be the game tying those together. But yeah, just like failing spectacularly, in my opinion. Like, yeah, you have like the Unity, you know, like crossover quest, which is cool at first, like realizing, oh, okay, you know, Shay was the one doing the assassination. But ultimately, you're still like left wondering, you know, what was this for exactly? You know, it's not like Shay plays any role whatsoever before or after his story, even though he should, according to the story that you're telling. Yeah, definitely would have taken a game where you play as Haven much more so. And there's also much they could have done with Haven, you know, maybe show his inner conflict, you know, especially after learning about Reginald Birch and what he has done. Would have made for an interesting, I think, character arc, you know, like seeing maybe his inner contradictions. Also explaining maybe why, you know, he ended up being killed by Connor. Maybe didn't have a full conviction anymore. Just reeks of being, we need to add some connection between these two games. This will do. Yeah, I can just really tell how they really had to rush the game development, you know? And it's also difficult to blame, you know, the developers of a writing team, you know, too much if I maybe didn't have enough time to really flesh out, you know, some of the character arcs they were trying to go for. But yeah, ultimately it shouldn't matter how much time you have. According to the time you have, you should at least, you know, have like narrative sense. You know, doesn't matter if it's like a short story, you know, an essay or like a long novel. Gotta at least, you know, have like the story itself make sense. And if you failed that, then, you know, there's not much point, maybe, in focusing too much on it. Some well, you for one felt ridiculously underleveled while trying to take over monasteries nearby. Ravensthorpe, whatever the name is, you haven't gotten. Sorry, let me pull that over here a bit more. Like so far away right now from me because I'm kind of like having an additional screen, so like the chat is like further away than it usually is. You weren't patient enough to hold out much longer. Then some retries before yeeting Valhalla off your console for good. The experience with it could easily be different, but you can only speak from your experience with it, and you found what you said about the stuff to be true at the point you got to in the game. Yeah, that's definitely fair. So I don't blame you for, you know, having your opinion at all. And experience can always differ, you know, like depending on like the console you're playing on, you know. Like console versions might be having also different issues than PC versions, for instance. And I do also feel usually a greater frustration with the stealth system in Valhalla than, you know, some other games. I definitely learned that you have to be much more careful as well playing that game. But yeah, I think it's always a good call. You like, if you know that you're not enjoying a game, you know, like forcing yourself to play through it entirely, especially if it can easily become like a, you know, 150-hour plus experience. It's good to realize sometimes, you know, if something feels like worth your time or not. And if not, you know, then just maybe move on to the next thing that piques your interest. Not much sense feeling like you have to suffer through, you know, something you might not be enjoying too much. That's an important thing to have in a story for sure. Yeah, imagine, like, narrative sense. It's a crazy thought, isn't it?
This should take care of that nonsense.
He points to a giant novelty check on his desk. It's absolutely comically huge.
It should be sufficient to cover your expenses for a few days and patch over your differences with a cafeteria manager. Go ahead, take it.
He points at it again.
Hey, that's 25 real. That's good money. Think of all the stuff you could.
I kinda lean more towards not taking it, to be honest. Because I don't want to feel like, you know, he's paying me for doing something. Let's talk about guard first, and then we're gonna make a viewer choice about whether we take the check or not.
Yes, I know Lawrence. He's a real character. No union man in him. A real piece of work, that boy is.
Okay, let's make a viewer choice here. We have one, take the comically large check and say thank you. We can take the check and don't say anything. We can say keep it, I'm good, and leave the check. Or we can insult him and leave the check as well. And the viewer choice starts now. Alright, I'm gonna say leave a check here. Keep it.
Okay, okay. I respect a man with principles. No handouts then.
He crosses his arms on his elbow midsection and sinks further into his chair.
Now, I'd like to set your mind at ease about one other matter. Your lost gun. Let me assure you, Union people are on it as we speak. I've got my best hounds looking for that lost gun.
His slug-like lips move, but all you hear is an echo. Lost gun, lost gun, lost gun.
This guy knows quite a lot. I don't trust him.
The world is swallowed by a black hole of fear. Only 2 words escape its gravitational pull. Lost and gun.
No, we lost morale. How do you know about my lost gun?
I know everything, Harry. Right now, I know that you're worried. Don't be worried. Everything's going to be all right.
Ah yeah, Orlok Zomb. I did quite like that board game too. They even brought out a physical version of Orlok.
It's the greatest reward, so they say. Why not try it, huh?
Giving is the greatest reward. Why not try it? But yeah, Orlok is quite fun. I wouldn't actually mind having the physical version of it. Seems like a nice, straightforward kind of game you can just pull out at any point, really. A bit like, you know, Valhalla's version of Gwent, in a way. Like representing like a mini game of that sort in the game. But Gwent is still goated to me. I don't think I ever found a mini game in a game that I enjoyed as much as I did Gwent. The only time you play Orlok is to get the order clue. I don't blame you, Ivorod. Yeah, sometimes can also be frustrating, especially if you're really bad on the RNG, like luck front. You know? That's the only thing I sometimes don't like about Orlok, just how freaking unlucky you can get.
It's not like you left it loaded. You didn't lose a loaded gun. Local children aren't out there playing with it right now, pointing it into their own mouths. It's in a safe place. I just know it. I have a feeling everything's going to be all right.
Okay, another viewer choice here. We can turn to Kim, or we can try to use composure and don't panic with a 42% chance. Let's start it now. You don't remember Orlok being straightforward about the order of play? Well, I guess if you get, you know, into it a little bit more. I mean, more like, you know, if you already have played Orlok before, you know the rules, and then, you know, can always pull off a board and just do like a straightforward session. But ultimately, you know, once you understand the rules, it's a pretty, I think, basic type of game. Okay, so let's try not to panic, I guess.
Who does this guy think you are? Ronnie the Rookie? You ain't worried about no lost gun, or unpaid bill, or forgotten name. You're the bad cop. You're probably more corrupt than him.
Nice. We've been so lucky on the dice rolls today. I'm only waiting for this to like backfire eventually.
You cross your legs and yawn. The fat man does the same, sinking deeper into his chair than one would think is physically possible. He seems to be enjoying your little display. Good. Now lean in with some corruption.
Listen, Evra, pal. We both know what makes the wheels of a world turn.
That we do, Harry. Let them say what they will about you and me. We're both born fighters.
This fighter only sits on a throne.
I do want you to feel at home, Harry, truly. But you'll have to excuse the humble accommodations.
That's it. Now kick back and add a final flourish for dignity.
I don't know about this choice here. Yeah, I don't want to definitely confirm anything about corruption here. I don't want to help him either. I'm not really too happy about any of those choices, but I think I'd rather go with one here.
You strike me as a reasonable man, Harry. I like that in a law man. Let's cut to the chase, shall we? What can Everard Clare do for you?
So we're more talking about how it decides between Eivor and the NPC, who gets to go first per each attack. I gotcha. Yeah, the dice roll. Not the dice roll, sorry, the coin throw. I always choose the heads option in the coin throw. Just every time. Blonde Teddy, thank you so much for the 10 bits. Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
I think we'd like to ask you a few questions. Don't you think so, Detective?
Questions will show him who's boss.
You caught me, Mr. Dubois. Why?
Of course. Let us dispatch with the formalities. You call me Everard, I call you Harry.
So I kind of assume that we have like a bad breakup after us or something. You know, from what we know at least. But you know, we've kind of like sunken very deep into like substance abuse and we just got left behind or something. Maybe it even was our wife, and that's why the name Mr. Dubois, you know, is kind of like something that he associates with like Mrs.
That's what the hanged corpse called you. Harry.
So that's really my name?
My God, so it's true. I didn't want to believe it, but you are a fantastic science fiction amnesiac cop, aren't you? What are the odds of that?
I think the odds of that are very low.
Yeah, my memory is a bit hazy.
I assure you, there's nothing to be ashamed of, Harry. You're among friends, and the good news is...
He taps on the folder in front of him.
I have a big fat folder on you, Harry. I'm sure you have a lot of questions to ask. Maybe I can help you out.
Don't trust him. For all you know, Dubois might be his name. You need to confirm this.
I'm sure you had some concerns you thought I might be able to address. And you were probably right. I can.
Are you trying to tell me you've gotten hold of some of our documents?
The lieutenant inspects Efrat over his spectacles.
Mr. Kitsuragi, would you mind? Me and Harry are talking about his lost identity right now.
Asking too many questions will make you look weak. You should maybe focus on the folder.
Let's get this straight. What is my full name?
It's Harry. Harry Dubois.
You feel like a Dubois, but you don't feel like a Harry. Strange.
So you mean during the effects stage where you see the animations of your text? I gotcha, yeah. Lambert Brown is the narrative of his game. He's in a band in Scotland. I've heard it as well the other day being mentioned, yeah. It is like the frontman of like a metal band or something. Like a power metal band, I think. I really like his voice acting, I have to say. Very pleasant voice to listen to, very unique. Very like, yeah, like rough sounding in a way. Hey there, Maria, welcome in. And how's it going? I'm doing really well, thank you for asking. Yeah, playing a bit more Disco Elysium, continuing with the murder investigation. Just, you know, questioning some suspects. But yeah, how about you? How's your day going? I saw you played some Resident Evil earlier. I was with a raid from Rod, but I wasn't actually there when he raided. Sounds like he smokes a lot. Yeah, sounds like he smokes a lot, sings a lot, and maybe drinks a bit. Just a wild assumption.
And I can work with you, Harry. Now, what else can I do for you?
Do you know where I live?
But of course, Harry. Your precinct is the 41st and you live in Jamrock. You're a Jamrock boy. A long way from home, but that's okay.
Do you know anything about my family? Do I have a wife or kids?
Family? Harry, you're not a family man. There's not one peep of family in here. Unless you think you're a family man. Do you strike yourself as a family man, Harry?
Never mind for family.
Family, Harry, is the most important thing in the world.
He glances lovingly at the framed photo in front of him. Where did you get that folder?
Ah, this? My friends in your organization gave it to me, Harry.
I find that very suspicious. May I have a look?
I'm afraid this is meant for Union eyes only, Mr. Kitsuragi. I'm sure you understand. Please continue, Harry.
What kind of cop does it say I am?
Well, Harry, if I were to sum you up in one word, it would be apologetic.
I'm sorry. I know I'm gonna be antagonistic here. What? I'm not apologetic. I'm confident.
Well, you sure come off as very confident in all our interactions, Harry. You're a real man's man.
Okay, so we could try the drama option here with a pretty low 28% chance. Given that Kim already suspects something about the photo, it actually does increase our chance quite a bit. All of the above, he knows. It seems like he does. He knows more than he lets on, at least. Amria, you're fine. Just had a stream yourself. Played Resident Evil 4, so getting your well-deserved rest now. Gonna stay here for a bit. Love this game. That's great to hear. I'm glad you like this game as well. And definitely sounds like you're, you know, definitely deserve a bit of a rest and break there. Yeah, those games definitely look intense sometimes, if you like being chased or like getting surrounded. But yeah, how are you liking Resident Evil 4 Remake so far? Is it any good? That's true, yeah, those like small animations can really add to this feeling a bit more alive sometimes. Especially if like in a dialogue and it's like more aesthetic camera angle. Yeah, no kidding, Zomb. I mean, you know, Roshan's voice actress, that's like in another level of raspy and rust sounding voice entirely. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, the voice actress is a very heavy smoker. Okay, we're gonna make a viewer choice here between choice 6 and 7. So whether or not we're gonna try to have another look at the photo or just gonna leave this for another moment. And the vote starts now. Okay, it's 50-50 here, so we're gonna go and try our luck again. But I don't think it's gonna work. I would be too freaking lucky with the dice rolls.
As you look at the folder,
No
everyone
way.
covers it with his hand and pets it. Is he trying to hide that it's not a real RCM folder? It certainly doesn't have the RCM stamp on it.
Maybe I should play like Lotto today or something. Given how lucky I am with the dice rolls. That's not an RCM folder.
Okay, Harry, you got me. This is from the Census Bureau, not the RCM. Those Census Bureau people are absolutely corrupt. You should do something about them.
He got the name from the Census Bureau, and everything else from your actions here in Martinez.
Yes, Mr. Kitsuragi from the Census Bureau. Like I said, now I'm actually a very busy man, so is there anything else I can do for you, Harry?
That means he doesn't really know anything about you. A pity. The mystery of you will have to remain a mystery for the time being.
So the Census Bureau says my name is Harry Dubois.
Yes, that's what I said. Try to keep up, okay? Let's move on.
No kidding, Zomp. Definitely on a roll right now. And there's quite a lot to inquire here. Let's just go by the order for now. I'm told the Union is involved in the local drug trade.
What? Harry, how could you say that to me? You know I appreciate a joke as much as any Johnny Fat Guy, but I can't take slander. Are you actually investigating this?
No comment.
Harry, you wound me, Harry, in the heart. But I trust you to put this to bed. Do what you must, and let's change the subject, shall we?
Thank you for your understanding. We will continue to do what we must.
Ah, yeah, that's definitely fair, Maria. Definitely fair. I've only ever played Resident Evil 5, I think it was, on like co-op. So I haven't that much experience yet with the series. I remember watching the original Resident Evil 4 back when it came out at like a friend's. Being kind of amazed by the graphics. You know, it looked really realistic at the time. And it seems like they've done another great job on the visuals, at least in the remake. Because it looks pretty amazing.
You too, Lieutenant. You know, I like you, but you never were my favorite. I'm a Harry guy. I'm Team Harry.
More like he realizes that Harry is much easier to influence than Kim is.
None taken. Did we have anything else to do here, Harry?
Aren't you going to ask me how I got in?
Harry, honestly, I'm just relieved you didn't get a hernia. A man your age...
Say nothing.
The big man peers at you over the rims of his glasses for a moment, then interlaces his fingers and rests his chin on his hands.
Anyway, I assure you, I am a very well-informed man. Information reaches me before I even get the chance to request it.
Well, then tell me about my lost gun, I guess.
Yes, your lost gun. My best men are on it. They're turning every stone.
You do a
searching
few
every
things for
favor,
me.
asking
Everybody
kids,
wins.
Grandmas, everyone.
That couldn't be more fitting for his character either, isn't it? Wouldn't do anything without getting a favor back. A true opportunist. Just like Marcos. Right, so his best men's are on it. I'm sure.
Your gun will be found, Harry. Let me assure you of that. It's just a matter of time and effort.
The only way to find it seems to be working with him. He might even be holding your gun hostage.
I will not be blackmailed with his gun business.
Harry, I was only trying to be tactful. A lost gun is a dangerous thing. I can't have it around in my neighborhood. Kids could be playing gun roulette with it as we speak. Teenage gangs could be arming themselves.
Come out and
Get
fight,
a hold of
bitch.
yourself, Harry.
Yeah, let's fight this bitch.
I assure you we are working on locating the missing sidearm as well.
The lieutenant is concerned about the lost gun and feels that the fact you haven't prioritized looking for it is unfortunate, if inevitable, and doesn't put the RCM in a good light.
Excellent, Mr. Kitsuragi. That's excellent news. Looks like we have a friendly gun-finding competition on our hands.
What's in the container that's outside your office?
My dear Harry, There are literally millions of containers in this harbor. I couldn't possibly remember what's in all of them.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't mention that specific container.
I rarely do, Harry.
In general, I feel like
Now, you were saying?
I don't want to talk about everything here with him as well. Certainly not further about the local drug trade, because it does occur, you know, that he has something to do with it. I want to talk about the hanging though, like as much as he knows about it.
Oh, of course. That's your main thing here. That's why you're in Martinez. I know everything that goes on around here, and I would love to help, like I'm helping you with your lost gun.
Or like trying to help me by finding things you can blackmail me with.
I mean, it's no secret that the lynching is connected to the strike. So much to talk about. Honestly, it's been weighing on me so heavily. I understand you need to interview me. But there's a thing that's been keeping me up at night. I want to talk about the hanging. I mean, if we could just calmly talk, exchange information, we could blow this thing wide open.
Yes, that sounds good. Let's do that.
Youth is a state of mind.
But I can't think straight with this thing weighing on me. You're police officers, aren't you? I have a crazy idea. You guys are basically door-opening machines. Incredibly talented at opening doors.
Kim, is that true? Are we door-opening machines?
I'm not sure I understand. If you're asking us to break down someone's door, it's not going to happen.
Come now. I just need you to go open a little door for me and leave it unlocked. A simple thing. Absolutely nothing shady about it.
Does this jiggling ooze think he's going to use you? He's got another thing coming. Play his game, son, with your eyes peeled. He's going to slip up, and when he does, you're going to come out on top.
Whose door is it?
Oh, no one's. It's just a weasel. A weasel lives there. Nothing for you to worry about.
What do you mean by weasel?
A loud blabbering weasel. When weasels feel no one is watching, they start acting foolishly.
He removes his glasses and rubs his nose. Why do I have a feeling that you're a weasel? Or are you more of a rat? Shady? Yeah, this guy is the epitome of shady, pretty much.
Just go there, unlock the door, and leave it open. It's been such a burden on me, Harry. I just want this to be over so I can discuss business with you.
So why don't you just open it yourself then?
Harry, I'm a very busy man, and more importantly, I don't have that extraordinary physique you do. You look like you could run around all day.
Right, not like I have a huge hangover and withdrawal symptoms. He also looks very busy, doesn't he? The way he's like leaning back in his chair there. Busy relaxing.
You want to send someone a message that the police are working for you.
I repeat, I'm a very, very busy man, Mr. Kitsuragi, and therefore I must occasionally enlist outside help. So what will it be, Harry?
I bet you don't even know anything about the hanging.
Harry, my dear friend, I am what people call a local bigwig. I know everything that goes on in Martinez.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't want to play along with this dude, to be honest. But it might lead to something. You know, I definitely think that he knows something. It's just that he's gonna be very careful about what he shares with us. It doesn't compromise anything that he, you know, is like about. Which is mostly, I guess, connected to the local drug trade. It also seems like Kim isn't really in favor of his job. I mean, he's very much in favor of like doing a deal with him. But he's also been very clear about that he doesn't want to knock down any doors that don't have to be knocked down. But given it's a very decisive option here, you know, like usually I would accept task, but given that this is like a bit more of an impactful task, it seems. I'm gonna make this a viewer choice again. So it's either 5 or 6 here. Accept the task of him or refuse. Let's start the vote now. Okay, we're gonna go and accept the task. I'm curious to see what Kim says about this.
Fantastic, my friend. Just let me know when it's done and we can take our friendship to the next level.
He flicks his fingers.
You can get the key from Manana. He's down by the gates. Manana's like a free agent in the Union. Special operations. Hardened socialist. A real free thinker too. He'll tell you precisely where the door is. One last thing, Harry. Just open the door. You don't need to go in or anything. I just want that weasel to come home and see the unlocked door.
I feel like my partner is very proper, so I should be the opposite maybe. It definitely plays quite well into the into what you're talking about for sure. You know, this kind of like very opposite types of characters, and that kind of like gives the game a bit more of a different dynamic, I guess. It's usually more interesting like listening to or like observing two people that are, you know, polar opposites than exactly the same. Because it does also challenge each of the characters in different ways. Could you help me get a dead body down from a tree?
You might have noticed there's one hanging on a tree behind the hostel cafeteria.
Oh my. Don't take this question personally, but why would I get involved in this matter?
Mr. Clare, the man was hanged with a cargo belt. A steel-reinforced cargo belt. It's safe to assume the Union had something to do with the murder. Besides, getting the body down would benefit all of us. It's a stain on the neighborhood.
I can certainly see how having him up there might start affecting some real estate values.
He licks his fat lips and smiles.
But of course, all joking aside, I am going to help you.
He picks up the handset of a radio phone to his right and clicks a button.
Jean-Luc, my boy, I'm sending 2 police officers down. They have a dead body in a tree problem they need help with. Namely, they need it to be taken down. And Jean, please take it easy with the race science. That's a yes to getting the body down, no to the race science.
He hangs up and turns back to you.
You can find Jean-Luc down at the gates. He's the big impressive one. You know, tattoos, muscles, ethnic looking. Can't miss him. Great guy.
Okay, I don't want to talk more about the drug trade or Joyce here, because I don't really feel like I'm ready to share that with this person yet. So we're just gonna leave here for now.
Wait. You need this to get in and out through the gate. Here, you're one of us now. A real red and white Union man. Take care, Harry.
All right. Marcus, everybody benefits, especially you. A banner sags under the weight of rain and snow, white waves on red.
Container, container, I'll turn you nice and red. Container, container, put the logos on. Container, container, used to be Wild Pines. Container, container, now belongs to Everard.
It doesn't even rhyme. Hi.
Everard, 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 he looks after everyone. Huh? Well, hey there. How can I help you, mister?
The look in its deep blue eyes is as sincere as you've ever seen. Kind of makes you feel like an arsehole for no apparent reason.
I see you are not a union man, mister. Did you get lost? You're not one of them scabs, are you?
A shadow passes over his kind face. What is it with you people and scabs?
I mean, I don't personally mind. Folks is just folks, you know, and folks gotta eat.
He doesn't seem to be waiting for you to answer.
Just some of the other guys don't look too kindly on the scabbing kind, if you know what I mean, mister.
This guy, you forgot about him. There's certainly quite a few people in this game that like to sing a lot. Amria, you actually forgot what type of system of social organization this world has in the game. Is it communism? I think there was like a communistic revolution some years prior to this game setting. But it seems like now the companies have a much stronger hold over the people. I couldn't really tell you precisely what the current political situation fully looks like. But to me it seemed like the communistic revolution didn't succeed and it's become quite corporate. And people don't take a liking to how much power the companies have over them. That's my impression, at least, of the stage we're currently at. But I know there's like an actual book series that this game is based on that plays a couple years before this, and that also I think talks about that revolution a bit further. About the events that kind of like lead to this. Where's everyone? The harbor's empty.
Oh, most of the guys are down at the gates, keeping the scabs from coming in.
He leans in with a confidential look.
We're on a strike. The whole union is. You don't have to work when you're on strike. Ha! We haven't worked for 2 months now.
So no one is working?
Not everyone is down there, of course. Mr. Evrard is in his office, where he always is. And Jean-Luc is guarding the gate.
He pauses to think.
But Titus and his boys got into some drunken trouble and Evrard sent them on a nice vacation. For a week or so.
He stops, but seems eager to tell you more. What kind of trouble did this Titus and his friends get into?
Oh, I'm not really supposed to talk about that. That's union business.
He smiles and leans closer. It's like, I shouldn't talk about this, but I really love talking about stuff.
Him and his boys stirred up something in town. Probably drank too much and got into a fight or something. I heard Mr. Evrard telling them to take some time off.
Don't go all bad cop on this simple, friendly fellow.
But what did they actually do?
I guess the boys got a bit too rowdy and had to let out some steam. I don't really know the details. That's just how boys are, you know. I haven't been in a fight since I was in middle school.
Easy, Leo. Let's keep this on the hearties.
He looks to me for assistance. What kind of fight did they get into? Did they kill a mercenary?
Too late. Leo's mouth is still moving, and the words are spewing forth. Words, words, and look, even more words. This guy could go on till the end of days.
Yeah, I've met many people that just could talk for days, you know. I could just stand there and nod for like 5 hours and would still be not finished. Me, I'm quite the opposite. I only talk when it's necessary. Sometimes I can't fathom how people can like, you know, talk so much. Just like share everything that's inside their brain pretty much. or that comes up at the time. No worries, Emria. He's lonely. Yeah, it's like no one is here, everyone is like striking. I have no one to talk to. I'm lonely and bored.
Now he's talking about some drunk sawmill owner who... No, he already switched to a prized fishing rod he apparently owned at some point. You know what? Just cut in there with your questions.
Do you work here? The most obvious question ever.
Yes, yes. Everybody needs a job, and this is mine. I'm Leonard, by the way. Leonard Bellick. But everyone calls me Leo.
The little man raises his hand in a welcoming gesture.
I'm like Mr. Everett's right-hand man when Mr. Edgar is out of town, and Mr. Edgar's right-hand man when Mr. Everett is away. Actually, Miss Beaufort is the right-hand man, but she's a lady.
A lady? What will we do with the drunk sawmill owner? Early in the morning.
Who is this, Miss Beaufort?
The lieutenant looks up at Leo.
A real pretty lady with a skin like those Douai Sucre candy bars my missus likes so much. Them are real nice to suckle on once the dinner is done and me and the missus sit down beside the radio. But I can't listen to the radio all the time. There's so much to do around here and I'm always busy keeping things running here. Yes I am, yes I am.
Stay on this Miss Beaufort topic.
Sit down. Who's this Miss Beaufort you mentioned?
Oh, Lizzie. She is a real sharp tool. Mr. Everett put her through some fancy school and everything, east of the river. 4 years she was gone, and when she came back, she was all fancy and lawyerly. But she's a real nice girl. Grew up in this here neighborhood, knows everybody and gets along with everyone. Real pillar of the community one day, I'm sure.
For a fraction of a second, there's sadness in his eyes.
If me missus and me was to have a child, I'd be real happy if she turned out like her. But she can't have kids. Dr. Lemaitre said so, and she knows about such things. Been a doctor for almost 50 years, she has.
I think you're doing a great job around here, Leo.
Yes, this place really seems to run like clockwork. Keep it up, Leo.
Achievement. Goodness of a cops. Let me actually see what that one stands for. Getting a good cop, bad cop point total to +10. I know. No, it's actually saying really get Kim to trust you. That's cool. So Kim officially trusts us now. Now I can die happily. But yeah, I was hoping that we would win Kim's trust eventually, you know. Because I really do like his character a lot, and I think he's really looking out for us. It's always such a calming success sound. Classic.
Well, thanks a lot. Coming from you, it means a lot, really.
And thank you, Rod, for the success as well.
Sometimes I feel some of the guys don't really get how much I bust my ass for them here. But you guys are alright.
The white rectangle on your clothes might not mean an awful lot in Martinez, but the recognition from an authority figure made Leo's day.
What are you doing with the containers?
Oh, I'm just making some covers for them containers here. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So it's easier for the crane operators to spot them.
Okay, so we have a logic choice here. What's going on here? Look at the mountains of containers rising behind him. Or we can ask him about something else here. It's a low 28% chance. So keep that in mind. And we're gonna start with your choice now. Alright, let's try.
The containers
Dude,
in the yard are
what the fuck?
in Wild Pine's livery, and the mountains rising behind Leo is all red in Union colors.
Seriously, like, what is my luck today? I haven't felt like a single dice roll, and usually all of them were like very low percent as well.
It's like some red infection was spreading outwards from the container yard's core.
Or you make my own luck.
I make my own luck. I make my own luck.
Has anyone told you why you need to change the covers?
No, not really. Miss Everett doesn't tell me all the big things. Says I go and tell them to everyone.
This looks like a massive redecorating operation, Kim.
My own luck.
I make my own luck.
Yes, they are hiding it from the inside. All the red containers have the Debarders Union logo on them.
Thanks, Leo. You have been very helpful.
Oh, no trouble at all, mister. No trouble at all.
But what's in that container over there?
Oh, that one. That should be empty as far as I know. Lots of containers here have nothing in them. They're just waiting to be loaded up.
Told you.
Okay, I'm off.
Bye-bye now.
He returns to his work. His work is what you call it, huh? Well then, alright. So, let's have a save here. And this shall be where we will continue next time with Disco Elysium. Because that's all I'm gonna be doing for today. But yeah, I would like to thank you all so much for coming by and for joining me for another session of Disco Elysium. Gonna continue here next week, I think. Either on Wednesday or Thursday. Probably Thursday, honestly. Because Wednesday I will have a bit more time to stream and I'll probably dedicate that to Valhalla. But it depends, you know. I also want to get, of course, this playthrough finished eventually. And it always seems like you have to definitely spend a bit more time to really feel like you're making lots of progress with this game. So who knows? I'm gonna keep this open. What I will be playing on Wednesday might also depend on my mood, like what I'm just more interested in playing on that day. But yeah, it definitely feels like the game is opening up a bit more now, you know, that we already know like some of the people and what we're kind of like looking into investigating. So yeah, I'm looking forward to do more of this. It's also gonna be good to finally get the body down and be able to like inspect it a bit closer next time. Cheers, Rod. Thank you for being here as well, dude. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a good rest of your evening and night. Cheers, Amria. Thank you also for being here. Hope you have a good one. You too, Zomp. Take care. Have a good one. Thanks for being here. And thank you all for being here today. I want to have a look and see what's online, who we could maybe raid today. Ah yeah, Lucinda's on playing some Silent Hill 2. So we're gonna go and raid over to her, see how it's going for her today. Playing a new remake of that infamous game. Also, if you want to check out some more streamers of the community, feel free to check out Rod, Emria, and Chilla. Rod has been playing some The Quarry. He's doing a horror month, currently with the Supermassive games. Emria has been playing some Resident Evil 4 Remake. And Chilla has been playing some Witcher 3 and Euro Truck Simulator 2. All great streamers, so if you haven't catched one of them before, there's some links in chat. If you would like to join us with a raid over to Lucinda, feel free to also copy and paste those raid emotes. And yeah, I will catch you all in the next one. Until then, enjoy the rest of the weekend, and I will see you over at Lucinda's. No worries, Rod. More than happy to give you one. I'll catch you next time, dude.
Decision, Gerech.